There's no one quite like us. Keep looking up.
Is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, truer words have never been said about how it doesn't matter who I am. What matters is who you are and where the hell you're located, I would imagine. So there you go. How are you? Today is Wednesday, January the 4th. Of 2023, which apparently I'm going to have to get used to saying. It is day numero 4 del año, so day number 4 of the year, and only 361 days left to go. So anyways, how has it been? How did you hang? What happened in the overnight? Anything exuberant, anything exciting, anything that changed your life as you were taking a look around? I have to ask all these questions because they are important, so let's make sure that we have a clear understanding on how they do come up and how they do come about. So I just want to make sure as I am talking about it. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging and banging with our friends at that other place that we get to do all kinds of fun stuff at.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yeah, some infiltration and Radio Big never hurts to talk about, that is for sure, as we are hanging and banging on this lovely Wednesday, which I want to call Tuesday because of how the days of the week have worked out so far this week. So there you go. Don't be concerned if I say the wrong thing, because that means you have not hung out on the show. So we talk here about safety in the news and safety. That's kind of the way how we do our things. CallinRadio.com will get you kind of into our system where we get to hang and bang and do all the fun stuff that we do around here if you want to come out and hang out. So don't worry about that, amigo, because that's what we do around here. Also, if you get into our system, voice message, video message, whatever kind of messaging you want to do, it does not guarantee that you're going to get on the show. Just want to let you know that, because some people tend to get upset about that portion. Sometimes I don't look that general direction, or the topic has changed for the people that are waiting out there, so I do apologize. And sometimes I do read them. It's easier if you just send a message because I can read it. But if you send it on the social media platform, I know it sounds very complicated. Sometimes I don't seem to do the right thing, at least according to the people that are listening. You don't have, the visual radio thing is still available if you want to do that, as you can go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says visual radio, or go to radiobig.fm and click on the section that says video radio. We are streaming live on iHeartRadio, in case you were wondering. We do that thing all day over there. We hang out over there all day, 24/7. So you don't have to worry about that. And I shouldn't say live, because it's not live all the time. It is live the majority of the time, except when there is the programmer running the whole thing. So then that becomes it not being live. Yeah, kind of confusing stuff as we are talking, but hey, we have some entertaining DJs over there, as well as if you hang out on Safety FM, we have some great podcasters and some great radio shows that happen over there. Jim Posel is live Monday through Friday, or Safety Wars with Jim Posel, better saying, is live Monday through Friday at in la noche. So there you go. You can take a listen over there to what the hell is going on. Anyways, let's talk real quick about what was trending in the overnight, because some people are going to want to know those things, because, hey, it is about the trends. So let's go ahead and do that now.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so according to the trends of the ends, Kevin McCarthy landed on Twitter top 10 trends on Tuesday as voting for the next Speaker of the House became chaotic. We can talk a little bit more about that here in a bit. Darma Hammond was trending yesterday as the NFL fans, players, and employees tweeted out well wishes for the prayers for the Buffalo Bills safety. We can talk a little bit more about that if you'd like. Also, Dana White was trending after a video surfaced of the UFC bigwig fighting with his wife on New Year's Eve in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Let's see, hashtag 3-word resolution was trending on Tuesday. Tweets included fix Washington's dysfunction, lose more weight, discard fashion abominations, and don't get caught. So there you go. Don't get caught. Gets a lot of stuff going on there. Anyways, if you're new to here, let's talk about what we do. This way it might make some logical sense as you're going through the process with us. We talk about safety and we talk about the news, and we talk about safety in the news and news and safety because that's the way that it goes. A lot of news information about what's going on with today and the headlines, and the reason behind it is that way you have something topical to talk to your employees, team members, and so on about before you start just yapping about what the hell's going on inside of the world of safety. Yep, that's some stuff to think about as you are doing it. So with that being said, we do bring in some professional broadcasters. They talk away about what the hell is going on inside of the world. And then I come back and tell you what I think is going on with the world from that perspective. We take a look around, make fun of some people, and then we come back and go, okay, let's call it a day and go on to radiobig.fm. Unless you hang out on Safety FM, then you get a nice little consulting show that comes on directly after this. Anyways, with that being said, let's get you into what the hell's going on inside of the world of the news, because it is time to do that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. The House is adjourned without electing a new speaker. Republican leader Kevin McCarthy failed to secure the 218 votes needed to become speaker on Tuesday due to opposition from hardline Republicans. McCarthy has vowed to continue fighting for the position, while conservative opponents say that they're committed to changing the status quo, no matter how many rounds of voting it takes. A man is dead and others, including an 8-year-old child, are injured following a shooting in Washington, D.C. yesterday.
The child that was shot appeared to be on the sidewalk and was not the intended target, but probably the victim of an errant round.
Police say at least 2 suspects got out of a car in traffic and opened fire on a targeted group of men who were standing on the sidewalk. 3 of the 4 victims were adult males. 1 was pronounced dead at the scene. The other 2 adults were hospitalized along with the child. Authorities are looking for the suspects who fled the scene. Dangerous weather is disrupting the lives of millions across the U.S. Parts of Louisiana and Arkansas saw tornado damage on Tuesday, with over 20 million people on severe weather alerts across the South. Winter weather is hitting the Midwest, with areas of South Dakota seeing almost 2 feet of snow, with travel warnings also across Minnesota and Wisconsin. Over 20 states are under alert for flooding rain and high winds, including California, where heavy rain is moving into the Bay Area today before moving to the Los Angeles area. A survey shows that seeking therapy is the top New Year's resolution in most states. Brian Shook with the details.
Seeking therapy tops the list in 12 states, followed by losing weight in 8 states. Among the states where therapy is the most popular resolution are Arizona, Florida, Missouri, and New York. The survey was conducted by Zippia, an online job search agency. I'm Brian Shook.
And President Biden may be visiting the southern border later this month. Texas Republican John Cornyn says it's about time. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Russia says a missile attack in Donetsk, which killed at least 89 soldiers, happened because troops were using mobile phones. The US House of Representatives failed to elect a speaker in a first-round vote. China's threatening to hit back at what it says are politically motivated COVID restrictions on Chinese travellers, and Japan's vowing to unify the UN Security Council over North Korea as it begins its 2-year term as non-permanent member.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
U.S. Soccer is investigating allegations against the head coach of the national men's team. Lisa Taylor explains.
The Federation says it learned about allegations against Greg Berhalter on December 11th and hired an independent investigator. In a statement, Berhalter detailed a violent incident that involved his now wife back in 1991 that he believed an individual tried to use to get U.S. Soccer to end its relationship with him. U.S. Soccer said through the process it learned about potential inappropriate behavior towards multiple members of our staff and expanded the investigation. U.S. Soccer said it's spoken with Berhalter and his wife about the incident and will share the results of the investigation once it's complete. I'm Lisa Taylor.
2 Washington state men have been arrested in connection with the recent attacks on 4 power substations near Tacoma. 32-year-old Matthew Greenwood and 40-year-old Jeremy Crayon were arrested Saturday for the attacks, which caused $3 million in damage and left thousands without power over the Christmas holidays. Court documents show the men were identified through their phone records and through a truck that was seen at one of the substations. Police also found clothing at the home of the suspects that was seen on surveillance video, as well as 2 illegal guns and a homemade silencer. Staying hydrated could help slow the aging process. Here's Lucinda Kay.
Water. It could be the proverbial and literal fountain of youth. The new info is out from a National Institutes of Health study. It looked at 11,000 Americans over a period of 25 years. And in this study, the folks showing lower levels of hydration also showed a higher risk for age-related conditions like heart failure, kidney disease, dementia, diabetes, stroke, even premature death. I'm Lucinda Kay.
And the Mega Millions jackpot is getting back up to near $1 billion. Nobody won the jackpot in Tuesday's lottery drawing, which was worth $785 million. As a result, the jackpot will roll over to the next drawing on Friday and be worth an estimated $940 million, making it the 6th biggest lottery jackpot ever. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out and doing our stuff together, because that's exactly what it consists of. So let's get you right away into the shit list, because, you know, it is a portion of the show that we get into that we have to start talking about what the hell is going on inside of the world. So here we go, taking it from the very top. Let's see. Sam Bankman-Fried officially entered a not guilty plea on charges including fraud and campaign finance violation. SBF himself didn't speak. His lawyers formally entered the plea. The trial is scheduled to begin. Are you ready for this? October the 2nd. Yeah, October the 2nd. So we got some time here before you say anything. Anyway, two of SBF's high-profile former colleagues have already pled guilty to similar charges and are cooperating with the authorities. He could certainly put together a deal that includes a guilty plea before the trial ever even begins. So we'll see what happens as we get further down the track. I guess I should mention this because, you know, why not mention it? Because now is a perfect time. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, you know, the financial guru, he always says don't invest in stuff you don't understand. And I think that this would fall definitely into that category of things that you don't understand, because people sounded like they lost a ton of moolah when it was all said and done when it came to that side of the equation. No, seriously.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this. The losses keep stacking up at Tesla, this time after an accident involving one of their vehicles and left 2 adults and 2 children in critical condition in California. No word yet on what caused the vehicle to fail, but it ended up falling off of a 250-foot cliff called the Devil's Slide just outside of San Francisco. Meanwhile, likely unrelated to the crash, Tesla stock lost 12% on Tuesday, closing at $108.10. Just 14 months, it peaked at over $400 a share. So there you go, $108.10. So here's my question to you. Do you think that the Tesla stock has taken a hit because of some of the stuff that Musk has done? Do you think that people are going, okay, well, I don't want to be investing with this man anymore? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking the question. It's neither here nor there. I mean, regardless of what you think of the guy, his technology on the stuff that he does seems to be pretty excellent across the board. At least it seems that way. So I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder sometimes on what people think out there of what the hell is going on inside of the world. Like, how you feel about somebody kind of make you change on everything else. And there is some stuff that you can take a look at as you say that, because there's just a number of things that does happen. Anyway, take a listen to this. After a string of Christmas holiday flight cancellation that left thousands of Southwest bachelors stranded, the airline is facing up to $700 million in refunds to customers, according to CNBC. The company leadership has promised to reimburse those who missed their flights because of cancellations during an already complicated time of the year. CEO Bob Jordan also says that they'll invest big into technology that makes internal management more efficient. So let's see this. You're going to invest refund $700 million in regards to technology to improve what you have. Because you're going to refund. Well, let me rephrase that because I totally messed that up. $700 to refund people. Let's do that. Then you're going to invest in technology to improve your systems. How much is that improvement going to be worth to you? Because let's talk about it. This has been considered a total meltdown of the system. Really a total meltdown all across the board. And listen, I understand weather and other events played an equation into it. But what are you going to do? Because that's going to be some of the stuff that is going to need to be talked about. Anyways, an Indiana man is stranded in Mexico after catching COVID on a Caribbean cruise, then having a stroke and contracting pneumonia. Louisville CBS affiliate WLKY. Yeah, WLKY reports that the man named Ray Rice, who owns a country radio station in Scottsburg, Indiana, was on the cruise with his girlfriend and then both fell ill. Rice has been non-communicative with his family in the States, scrambles to try to get him back home. Rice reportedly has no health insurance. Yeah, he's in radio. That's kind of how that goes. So American Hospital won't accept him as a patient without a huge deposit. So there you go. In one case, Miami Hospital wanted $250,000 down, even though his family has lined up $25,000 to pay for the medical airlift out of Mexico. That's on top of the $24,000 the family owes to the hospital in Mexico. Man, talk about health insurance nightmare in that particular regards. And listen, I know that post-event, you can always think about all this stuff, but this is what happens on how medical insurance normally does not work outside of the country and how people always say, you probably need to get a secondary if you decide to go outside of the country. This is the reason behind some of these things making reference to this. In a totally unrelated subject matter, let's talk about this. Wildlife conservatives successfully rescued more than 300 turtles that were cold shock amid the frigid temperatures sweeping the country last week near Corpus Christi, Texas. When temperatures dropped to such low temperatures, the animals became unable to move or regulate their blood body temperature. Their blood body temperature? I don't even know what that means. Which can cause them to drown. After taking the turtles into the animal rehab facilities, they were careful and returned to their sea homes. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. What an interesting thing to talk about. I guess if you really talk about the turtle story today, before you go into your safety messaging, that will be some interesting times. Anyways, let's talk about some money, because I think it's time to do that.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. If the first trading day of the year can be used as a guide, it looks like 2023 is going to be another down year. The S&P 500 opened with gains and moved higher only to hit resistance at the short-term 30-day EMA, where it triggered selling. The remainder of the day saw the market under pressure and down more than 1% at the low of the session. The truly bad news is the index confirmed resistance at a key level, and the price action suggests more down days are ahead of us. The catalyst this week will be economic in nature. The key read for the week is Friday in the form of the NFP report, but there are other important data points due out as well. Next week, things change with the start of the peak Q4 reporting season, which is not expected to be a good one. While the analysts are upgrading a number of stocks with the start of the year, the bulk of the analyst activity is bearish, and that trend is likely to continue. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for that information right there. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I was able to locate inside of the system. The Dow lost about 10 points to close at 33,136 on Tuesday. The S&P lost about 15 points to close at 3,824, while the NASDAQ lost about 79 points to close at 10,386. West Texas Intermediate dropped to about $80 on Tuesday, closing at 76. And Brent crude closed at $82 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.22, and Bitcoin was mostly flat, trading just under $16,700. There were more than 5,550 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Tuesday, with about 572 cancellations. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on there, it sounds like. So let's talk about this, because we need to talk about some of the things that are going on in the top fiction and nonfiction books currently on the New York Times bestsellers list, because that's something to talk about. According to the fiction category, at the number 5 spots was The Boys from Biloxi by John Grisham. Now take a listen to this. At number 4 was Verity by Colleen Hoover. At number 3 was Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Gamis. At number 2, It Ends With Us, Colleen Hoover. And at the number 1 spot, according to the fiction category, It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Apparently, must be an excellent writer or really has a large fan base, one or the other. If we're going into the nonfiction category, it goes something like this. At the number 5 spot, it goes The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van Dork. At number 4 was Surrender by Bono. At number 3, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. At number 2, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. And at the number 1 spot, The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama. That's according to the nonfiction category. So that is what is going on as we are talking. Anyways, take a listen to this, because yesterday inside of the sports world, it was some interesting times. There was a couple of deaths that were announced that I would like to discuss real quick. Motorsport enthusiast Ken Block has died. According to a statement of the clothing company Hoonigan Industry, he passed away by a snowmobile accident that occurred over the weekend. He was 55. And I am going to butcher this name, but former Jacksonville Jaguar has died. He passed away early Monday morning at the West Lafayette, Indiana. Preliminary autopsy results suggest that he had suffered a heart attack, though that they were waiting for toxicology results. He was 38 at the time of his passing. So there you go. A lot of interesting stuff going on there. I don't even know, sometimes what to say when it comes to some of these things, as you see them popping up and going around. Let's talk real quick about some things that are going on across the country. You may want to put on another log on the fire and break out the heavy sweater. That's because wholesale prices for natural gas have gone through the roof. Take a listen to this.
In Electric says your gas bill is about to more than double. The reason for the price hikes, colder weather across the state and even the country. The rate for natural gas doubling compared to last month. And if your household gas bill was around $105 last January, SDG&E estimates this month's bill will be about $225. That's an increase of 114%. I'm Phil Farrar.
So thank you, Phil, for the information right there as we are hanging out and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do around here. There is no doubt about that.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
So there you go. Let's talk a little bit more about some other things that are going on. A longtime Brooksville couple is celebrating after becoming the first couple to officially get married in Cook County in 2023. Mandy Fila and Daniel Ferguson finally tied the knot yesterday after being together for 13 years.
For a long time, probably since our early 20s, and been together for about 13 years, and just ready to keep moving forward.
I love you so much that I want the government involved inside of it. Clark County, County Clerk Karen Yarbo officiated the couple's wedding ceremony at her Loop office. The pair won the lottery of more than 100 couples seeking the first county marriage license for the new year. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. Take a listen to this. A Cook County judge is tossing a double murder conviction of a woman whose case was linked to a pair of disgraced former Chicago police detectives. Madeline Mendoza says that she wants to help people now that her conviction has been vacated.
I want to fight for people just like me, in situations like me. And not only like me, but I just want to fight for justice, period.
Okay, Mendoza was just 16 years old when she and 2 others were charged with killing 2 gang members in a park back in 1992. She spent more than 17 years in prison after pleading guilty to her involvement to the murder. However, Mendoza claimed the admission that was a coerced confession stemming from a fabricated case put together by detectives Ronaldo Guevara and Ernest Halverson. So there you go, some stuff going on right there as we are talking. Take a listen to this. The U.S. Postal Service can keep delivering prescription abortion medication despite the 2022 Supreme Court ruling overturning of Roe v. Wade. Mark Mayfield has more info.
DOJ said mailing of abortion meds did not violate the 1873 law known as the Comstock Act, which made it illegal to send obscene or indecent items through the mail. USPS said in a statement, the DOJ opinion confirms that the Postal Service doesn't have to change their current practices and that the drugs can be mailed in the same fashion as other prescription drugs. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Mark, for that one. Take a listen to this. Pontiac City Council is expected to vote at its January 10th meeting on allowing up to 20 recreational marijuana retailers in the city. Mayor Tim spoke about this, about the upcoming vote. Take a listen.
I think every community that has implemented a marijuana ordinance has faced some number of legal challenges. Our focus is on minimizing those and mitigating the litigation risk to the community, and I think we're on track to do that.
Okay, no limits will be placed on growing, processing, and transporting companies. The council held a closed session meeting with attorneys last night and voted to increase the number of micro businesses that are allowed to grow from 3 to 5 after the closed session. Pontiac City Councilwoman Malody Rutherford says that she will do the right thing when it comes to marijuana businesses.
This administration, and I believe in this council, that we're working hand in hand to make sure we're doing the best thing in the best interest of our citizens, as well as our prospective business owners that are coming to the city of Pontiac.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. I think it is time to do that thing that we do around now, because it is time to do so. And what is that thing, in case you're wondering? Well, it's our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so taking a look around, hanging out, looking, cooking, booking, and seemingly, taking a look at everything that is going on. It is an interesting time as we are looking and going, how interesting it is to look at this time in our lifetime. So as we start off the new year, a lot of people like to sit back, recollect, look at what's happened over the last year and go, is it worth it all? Is it not worth it? Is it time to call it? Is it not time to call it? And we take a look at some of the problems that were there and start going, is it time for a refresh? Is it time to start over? Is it time to change everything that's inside of our systems to make everything better when the way that we look at our safety systems? And, you have to sit back for a moment as you're having some of these discussions and look at the grand scope and look at the grand picture of things. And I take a look around and I go, is the remedy worse than the malady? Now think about that. Is the remedy to solve your problems worse than the malady that is out there? Now, the reason that I ask this question is because there's a lot of stuff that is going on inside of your systems that you are saying things need to be reset. And I get so concerned sometimes that when we are hanging out and talking to our team members and our staff and our leadership team and our management and so on, however you want to word it, that sometimes it's doom and gloom. Sometimes we look at it and go, it is a catastrophic event that everything needs to be reset. But is that really the case? Is it really the case where everything needs to be done to all the way to level 0? Now, listen, we can talk about this from some of the ways that some of the diseases are cured, using the example of cancer, where they try to, kill the disease by limiting the host on what they can do with radiation. And is that going to be the best case scenario for what you have going on inside of your org? I want you to think about it because there's a lot of stuff that you might already have that's in place that could be determined good. And I am very hesitant from telling people jump from one system to another. I'm very hesitant of telling people do this and change the world because is it really going to change it? Now, a lot of people get all hung up when you start talking about quote unquote bolt-ons, meaning add to what you have existing. And it is a hard pill to swallow where you say, change this, but add that to see how things are going to move forward. Because if you change everything out, what are people going to believe that is consistent inside of the system? So you have to think about it. I mean, you don't have to think about it, but you should consider strongly, is the remedy worse than the malady? Do you have a better solution in stored, but you haven't given it more thought? Think about it sometimes on how sometimes organizations want to change things that don't in the long run really need to be changed. That's something to think about today. That is for sure. Anyways, there you go. It is currently 37 minutes past the top of the hour. Think about it.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobile.io. That's mobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Have you ever wanted to start live streaming and were not sure how to do it? You can start live streaming up to 40 social media platforms all at one time for as little as nada. It's going to cost you your time. That is what it's going to cost. You can pre-record, you can live stream, you can do a multitude of things. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com/one. That's safetyfm.com, ONE.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Quite like us, keep looking up. We're looking up. We're looking up. We can take the world. Nothing can stop us now that we are infinite. We're looking up. We are breaking the past, searching for something to last. We believe in never leaving. We've seen what's to come.
Okay, we're still hanging and banging here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, it is currently 43 minutes past the top of the hour. This one right here is Chris Manson. Or Mason, excuse me. Manson is somebody else. We're looking up. Yeah, we're looking up. Songs readily available on Spotify and iTunes. If you want to give it a little downloading. We'd like to thank Chris Mason for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. As you can hear us streaming around the multiverse. So there you go. This is the hour one of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, in case you're wondering. Referred to as the Rated R Safety Show. So there you go. By the way, at some point today, or maybe as early as tomorrow, we will have our newest ebook out and about. If you want to take a little viewsy-oozy of that, will be readily available at safetyfmplus.com. If you want to take a look at that. Yeah, we do the new yearbooks. It seems like we do them yearly, but we do one every month. And we have been doing so now for quite some time. So it'll be interesting to see as we are talking and moving and grooving and all that fun stuff. By the way, I'm already forgetting. Today is the beginning of the 3-year mark? The 3-year mark of going into this? Of going into Radio Big? I believe is what it is. Man, my brain is so fried in going into all this stuff. But I believe that this is the beginning of year tres. Yes, of year tres. It is the beginning of it. So there you go. A lot of interesting stuff as we are talking. I would have never thought that we would have made it this far. I never know what's going to happen with these things, but so there you go. Some stuff going on right there. Anyways, let's talk about this because this is going to be the most important thing that you'll ever hear me talk about, and that is about my friends at 9888 Suicides in Crisis Lifeline. They can help prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you and your loved ones, and the best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. Text the word TALK to 988 or call 988, and that will get you moving and grooving inside of the system. Listen, this is something that most people don't like talking about in regards to this, but there are times that it is difficult in life and people do struggle. And they are there to assist you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's anywhere from emotional well-being, how you can cope with unrest, and just overall stuff in general in regards of things that are going on. And listen, this is one of these things that if you are struggling, I understand. It will go on for a lifetime. 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org as we are talking on this lovely Wednesday. So there you go. If you're looking for something, there you go. That is something to be able to assist you right there. So let's talk about this. Let's get into some news stories real quick if you want to do this, as we are still hanging around here 46 minutes past the top of the hour. You know that that old cliche about not being able to eat just one potato chip? Well, it turns out that that's an actual thing. As you may be embedded into your DNA, researchers at the Japan Osaka Metropolitan University say that they've uncovered the gene that has a strong correlation with obesity prevention to help to stop yourself before you overeat, especially greasy junk food. That put the fork down gene. It is called Krebs Regulator Transcriber Coalition, or CRTC1. The gene was studied in mice to observe it, and it affects eating habits. Mice bred to have the gene deleted and put into the high-fat diet tended to develop diabetes and gain more weight than the control of the mice. So if you find that you can't stop eating junk food, just blame it on your genes. Scientists say that they hope that they have discovered that will lead to a better understanding of what causes people to overeat. I have absolutely no problem with resisting potato chips after eating just one, provided that it arrives with pizza. But we already know what causes people to overeat. Potato chips or corn chips or any kind of chips, because that just sounds like a chippy-yippy in regards of what would be going on there. That is for sure, as we are talking. So a lot of stuff going on inside of that particular world. There is no doubt about that. Think about it for a moment. How else would you take a look at some of these things? I don't know. That's why they are mentioned here. Anyways, 48 past, and apparently I'm going to tell you every little moment that changes is what it's starting to sound like there. Let's do this real quick. As I get into some of this stuff, I want you to take a listen to this in regards of what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute. So let's bring some John Smalls inside of here.
Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Al. Oprah Winfrey said, "The key to realizing a dream is to focus not on success, but on significance. And then, even the small steps and little victories along your path will take on a greater meaning." What a great quote. What are your dreams for this year? Have you spent any time thinking about that? It makes a ton of sense to do that, to spend some time thinking about the positive things that you would like to achieve this year. Then, write these things down. Every once in a while, you can peek at the list to see how you're doing. Even if you don't get to everything, that's okay. You have next year coming too, and it'll be here before you know it. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by alasamorgan.com. Most of us heard about the idea that we have higher chances at achieving our goals if we align them with our values. So what does that mean for health-related goals? Here are 2 important questions I invite you to reflect on today. Question 1. How will your health goal or intention support your other goals, dreams, or priorities? Second, if it does not support it, how will this misalignment impact you achieving your goal? If we don't increase awareness about our priorities, it is easy to decrease the amount of attention we give to a goal that is less important than others. For example, if your current biggest priority is your career, it is normal that you will choose to spend extra hours at the office instead of going to the gym. But if you do reflect on how getting healthy will support your other goals, you will be more likely to approach your health goal in a way that allows you to put in extra hours at work. For additional resources, check out alyssamorgan.com.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
I know. Who really does care? I mean, I don't know, but apparently some people do, and I don't know why. Because it gets very confusing oozing as we are talking. So let's continue going down the path of some of the things that are going on inside of the world. So I guess we need to speak about this. After 3 rounds of voting, the 118th Congress failed to elect a speaker on Tuesday and adjourned for the day around 4 p.m. Central Time. Before the second vote, even Ohio conservative Jim Jordan encouraged his Republican colleagues to back Kevin McCarthy, who had been the Republican minority leader in the House, instead of the 19 GOP holdouts stuck to their guns. Meanwhile, that's what's going on over there. So it's kind of an interesting one to take a look at as we are talking. Anyways, no winner for Monday night's Powerball drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $291 million jackpot or $147.9 million cash payout. So if you want to play, you can do so. And get all that stuff going on over there as we are talking. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, take a listen real quick about some things that are going on inside of the world. Walt Disney is the #1 studio in the world box office with $4.9 billion for 2022. It's the 7th year in a row that the company has landed the top spot. Universal is at number 2 with $3.9 billion globally. Worth noting, the billions earned by only 16 Disney-backed films. So there you go, some stuff to talk about. If you want to do that today, there is no doubt about that. Anyway, taking a look around at some things that happened back on this day. Back in 2021, South Korea records more deaths than births for the first time. The country holds the title for the world's lowest birth rate. So there you go. Taking a look around at some birthdays for today. Coco Jones turns 25. Emma McKay turns 27. Derek Henry, 29. Chris Bryant, 31. Charles Melton, 32. Labyrinth turns 34. James Milner, 37th. Tina Knowles turns 69. And that's about what we got going on over there. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you today. If you're taking a look around at them. Tom Thumb Day. National Spaghetti Day. National Trivia Day. Pop Music Chart Day. World Braille Day. And World Hypnotism Day. And of course, Whip 'em Out Wednesday. I mean, what else did you think I was gonna miss that? Of course I was not going to miss the opportunity to talk about it. But there you go. Some stuff going on right there. What else do I see coming into the news sources? Because, it's always important to talk about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news. Don't worry about that. We're not going to miss those. Do you want to do a health beat real quick? Because we haven't done one in some time. Take a listen.
Doctors say Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin may have experienced agitation of the heart during Monday night's football game in Cincinnati. Lisa G. with more.
Today's show medical correspondent Dr. John Torres says Hamlin might have been hit over the chest with a certain amount of energy at a very specific time.
When the electricity is flowing from one side of the heart to the other, from top to bottom.
Torres says it's a very rare occurrence, and since 1995 there's only been 200 cases in the U.S., but it could be a lethal condition. Torres says having defibrillators on the scene helped save Hamlin's life.
Sesame is now classified as a major food allergen. It's the 9th food to be added to the FDA's list. It joins fish, shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts, and others. Sesame can be found in sesame oil, a main ingredient in Asian cuisine, and foods like granola, tortilla chips, and bagels. Health Update, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
They're good. They're very funny.
They're hilarious. They just be whoever they want to be.
It's just really funny. Rated R Safety Show.
Smartphone cameras are about to get even better. Santa Clara's OmniVision announced its new OV50H, a high-resolution 50-megapixel image sensor that's designed for high-end smartphone rear-facing cameras. The company says the OV50H offers industry-leading low-light and autofocus performance. The man who runs Tesla's operations in China is now overseeing the luxury performance electric car makers' assembly plants here in the U.S. Reuters reports that Tom Zhu has been promoted to take direct oversight of the Tesla plants, as well as sales operations in North America and Europe. The move makes Zhu the highest-profile executive at Tesla after CEO Elon Musk. And the disgraced young crypto king has pleaded not guilty to fraud charges. Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of FTX, accused of stealing billions from customers, entered a not guilty plea in New York federal court on Tuesday. The plea comes less than 2 months after the collapse of the crypto exchange. He faces over 100 years in prison if he is convicted. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
So a lot of stuff going on right there. Thanks, Mark Mayfield, for that information. So let's talk about it real quick because March will be here before you know it. But yes, the Safety Differently workshop that was taking place with Todd Conklin, Mark Yeston, Bob Edwards, and Martha Acosta, and yours truly, will be happening in Santa Fe, New Mexico in the month of March. If you want to come and hang out and see what the hell's going on over there, you're more than welcome and come on down. All you have to do is go to safetyfm.io to find out more information. That's safetyfm.io for more information on what is going on inside of that world. So we would love to see you there. Come down to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we can do our thing with you while we're there. Anyways, there you go. Some information on what is happening. Anyways, taking a look around real quick. What is today? Today is, today is Wednesday. So let's take a look at some whack facts because that seems like a great thing to do on a Wednesday. So in talking about whack facts, let's talk about what is going on with them because, listen, here's some stuff for whack facts for 2023. In their lifetime, most people spend an average of 1 entire year sitting on the toilet. Your fingernails grow faster than when you are cold. So think about that. Only 45% of London Underground is actually underground. People whose names start with the letter A have the longest life expectancy. Medical errors are the 6th leading cause of deaths in the U.S. Attics were invented in Antarctica. So there you go. There you go. Some stuff going on there. How were they invented in Antarctica? Hey, whatever. Whatever it says there, that's what I told you. So take a listen to this. If you need a random joke for today, try this. My dog will eat absolutely anything until you put a pill with it. Then it won't eat anything. He's all Gordon Ramsay then about everything. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's one thing that you know for sure you'll never do again? If you need something for the water cooler, try this. 18% of people admit that they've done this purely to come across as more intelligent. What is it? Displayed books in their homes or office. Yep, that's what people do. I personally wear glasses because I want to look smarter. And if you believe that, the word gullible is not in the dictionary either. Anyway, so that's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for being with us. I'll be going over to radiobig.fm, talking about what we're doing today, a little bit over there. So if you want to come and hang out, or if you can stay right here on Safety FM, as Sheldon Primus will be coming up next and doing his safety consultant show, if you want to hang out there. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. True friendship is like sound health. The value of it is seldom known until it is lost. Think about it in that fashion. Anyways, this has been the Rated R Safety Show. Thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, J.M.